David here in Prospect Park in Brooklyn. So the guy, fun fact, the guy who designed Central Park also designed Prospect Park, but guess what? He always said he liked Prospect Park more. So if you're in Brooklyn, walk over the Brooklyn Bridge, hang out in Prospect Park. It's a beautiful day here, and just seeing a lot of different people. Some kids, wreaking havoc. And nothing too serious, but overall kind of acting like punks. Why am I talking about all this? I think, believe it or not, I've done some kind of punky stuff in my life, and maybe I'll talk about it in a future video. Right now, I want to say a couple things on that. I promote living in the present, right? Right now, I'm not thinking too much about what I'm doing in a year. I have a vague idea, but I'm not stuck in the future. I'm making this video, doing business work today, getting some things done, seeing friends, calling my mother, calling a friend of mine. Those are all things that are on my list. I'm in the moment. I think a lot of mistakes that young people make, I'm still young, still making mistakes, is if you're living in the present, maybe a little bit too much, right? You see people who make mistakes, and I don't want to sound like an old man here.
Prepare our young people to not only respond to that culture.
So far as just hurting people, hurting property, maybe they're living a little bit too much in the present, thinking I'm just going to stay this age forever so I can be a punk. But if you look in the future, look out, say 20 years, think, am I going to be this same punk in like 20 years? No, it's all right. Just talking about being a punk, and wasn't a punk. So maybe a couple years ago, I was talking to a family, and in short, maybe a couple years ago, they come over getting my shot, and I would have been like, hey, I'm trying to shoot here, what are you doing? And their kid was running over to chase after a robin. And instead, I got out of the frame and started talking to him about the bird, started talking to the dad about how about the kid is running after birds and loves animals. And I said, when I was little, I always saw a robin and thought it was the same bird wherever I went for years when I was growing up. And the father said, yeah, man, me too. I did the same thing. I thought the bird was over here, the bird was here, the bird was following me. We had a little bit of a laugh. My point is, younger David maybe would have been a punk, and now gained a little bit more of kind of patience with life and overall connection to people, because I saw, well, I'm getting older, and do I want to be a mean punk when I'm 40 years old, 45? I think somebody has a quote, there's nothing sadder than an aging hipster, and some of you guys might be like, oh, David's an aging hipster. But I think that quote might apply to overall just maintaining a kind of pettiness, a lack of maturity into your 20s, into college, when you should really just grow up. Grow up. Now, don't be a punk, because I think a lot of that behavior is just a little bit too much present-mindedness, thinking I'm never going to grow up, I'm never going to be the 40-year-old guy who tells me, please don't steal my recycling bin. And that's the way you see it. You see him as kind of the enemy, something that you never will be. And you're going to be that guy. You will. You will. I hope you are. I hope you live to be 40. I hope you live to be the guy who says, guys, kids, please don't steal my recycling bin. And then the kids go back and, light his recycling bin on fire later that night. I think those kids think they'll never be him, so there's a lack of empathy. But realize that you will get older, and I think as soon as you realize that, you can put yourself in other people's shoes and you'll stop acting like a punk. So I'm not a parent, but I can see myself as a parent now. So maybe that's one of the reasons I just reacted well when the video was interrupted by the kid chasing after the bird. I had a lot of empathy for him. For the parents, I saw myself as, oh, that could be my kid. He could be chasing after a bird. How would I want this other guy, this stranger, to react if my son interrupts his video? I'd want him to make a joke about birds instead of snapping at me and snapping at my family on this nice day. So I think just a decision to have more empathy for the fact that empathy for others, and just a realization of the fact that you will get older and you will be the person that maybe you're kind of acting out to, maybe even your parents, developing empathy for them. That's a huge step in and just relating to them as people is a huge step. And you will want to get there eventually. Otherwise, you'll just be the 35-year-old dude who hangs out at his parents' house, kind of hates them, and isn't really doing anything with his life because he never made that switch. You need to make that switch. You need to grow up. Okay? Grow up. Stop screwing around with that guy's trash can, recycling bin. Don't set it on fire. Be like, hey man, how you doing? Have a nice day. Neighbor, even though I'm 16, I'm going to treat you like an equal, and we're going to be all right. Try that instead. So if you like this video, like it, comment on other comments, get involved, tell people that's a great comment, or tell people, shh, bad comment. And also, if you're interested in the top 5 tips I have for getting into college, click on that link. It's right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right there. And yeah, have a great day. David Richard.